The alien queen believed human warriors were legends until she finally met one part. 1. The dying Empire Queen Zarathus pressed her scaled hand against the cold crystal window of her throne room. Outside, in the dark space beyond her flagship, her once mighty fleet was burning. Ship after ship exploded in bright flashes of light. The enemy was winning, and she could do nothing to stop it. The hive had come from the deep void 3 years ago. Nobody knew where they came from or what they wanted. They just appeared one day with their huge bioships that looked like giant insects made of metal and flesh. These ships could repair themselves, grow bigger, and make new ships from the remains of destroyed planets. "My queen," General Korax said as he walked into the throne room. His blue skin was pale with fear, and his forearms shook as he bowed. "We have lost the Tertian system. All 3 colonies are gone, the hive ships. It ate everything." Zarathus did not turn around. She kept watching her ships die. How many people lived on those worlds? 12 billion, my queen. 12 billion of her people, dead, consumed by the hive to make more of their horrible ships. The queen's hands formed fists. Her empire had ruled this part of the galaxy for 5,000 years. Her ancestors had conquered hundreds of worlds. Her fleets had never known defeat until now. "What news from the other fronts?" she asked. General Korax looked at his reports. "The 4th Fleet retreated from the Melnik Nebula," Admiral Theron says. "The hive ships are too fast and too many. The 7th Fleet—" He stopped, "Tell me." "The 7th Fleet is gone, my queen. All ships lost." Admiral Jorek sent one final message before his flagship was destroyed. He said the hive had ships the size of moons. Ships the size of moons. The queen finally turned from the window. She was tall, even for her people, with silver scales that caught the light from her crown. Her yellow eyes showed no fear, but deep inside, she was terrified. "How long before they reach the capital?" she asked. "At their current speed."
2
weeks, my queen. 2 weeks. Her homeworld Velkar Prime would burn in 2 weeks. 50 billion people would die. Her empire would end, and she would be the last queen of the Velkari. "My queen," General Korax said softly, "perhaps it is time to consider the old stories." Zarathus looked at him sharply. "What stories?" The general was quiet for a moment. He looked around the throne room to make sure they were alone. "The legends, my queen. The stories of the human warriors." The queen almost laughed. "Almost. You want me to believe in fairy tales, General?" "My queen, I know how it sounds. But the stories come from many different worlds, many different times. They all say the same thing. There is a species called humans. They live far from here, in a place called Earth. And when they fight ... double quotes, he stopped. "Go on. When they fight, they never lose. The stories say they are small like us, but they fight like they have no fear of death. They use weapons and tactics that nobody else thinks of. They never give up, even when they should." Zarathus had heard these stories before. Every species in the galaxy had them. Tales of mysterious human warriors who appeared from nowhere to help in impossible battles. Stories of ships with strange names and crews that fought against odds no sane person would face. But they were just stories, weren't they? "Even if these humans exist," the queen said, "why would they help us? We have never met them. We have nothing to offer." General Korax pulled out a small data crystal. "My queen, I sent scouts to search for any trace of these humans. Most found nothing. But one scout ship, the Seeker, found something interesting before it was destroyed by the hive." He placed the crystal in the throne room's main computer. A star map appeared in the air showing a part of the galaxy far from Valkyrie space.
Nice.
"Seeker found this before it died," Korax said. "Radio signals. It's artificial signals coming from a system the old maps call Sol. The signals use patterns we have never seen before." The queen stared at the map. The Sol system was marked with a small red dot, thousands of light years away, so far that even her fastest ships would take weeks to reach it. "This proves nothing," she said. "Those signals could come from any species." "Yes, my queen. But the Seeker also found something else. The map changed, showing the wreckage of ships. My queen, destroyed ships. And look at how they died. The queen studied the images. The hive ships had been cut apart with incredible precision. Their biometal hulls showed burn marks from weapons she had never seen before. Some ships had been torn apart from the inside, as if something had boarded them and fought its way through. No species we know could do this to hive ships, Korak said. Their biometal repairs itself. Our hulls are stronger than our best armor. But something destroyed these ships completely. Something that knew exactly how to kill them. The queen was quiet for a long time. Outside the window, another of her ships exploded. Soon there would be none left. My queen, came another voice. Admiral Vexstar walked into the throne room, her oldest friend and advisor, the one person who always told her the truth. I heard about the Tertian system. I am sorry. Vexstar, the queen said, do you believe in the human legends? The admiral thought carefully before speaking. I believe that when people tell the same story across the galaxy for hundreds of years, there might be some truth in it. And I believe that we are going to die in 2 weeks unless we try something different. The queen looked at the star map again. The Sol system seemed so far away, so impossible to reach with the hive hunting her ships. Even if we could reach this Earth, she said, even if humans exist, why would they care about us? They do not know us. They have no reason to risk their lives for strangers. The stories say that is exactly why they fight, Admiral Vexstar said quietly. Not for glory or conquest, but because someone needs help. Alarms began ringing throughout. The ship. The bridge officer's voice came over the speakers. My queen, hive bioships have entered the outer system. Massive formation. They will reach us in 6 hours. 6 hours. Not 2 weeks. 6 hours until the hive found them. The queen looked at her 2 most trusted friends. Around them, her empire was dying. Her people were being consumed by an enemy. That could not be stopped. She had 2 choices. Stay and die fighting, or take a desperate chance on legends and fairy tales. Prepare the fastest ships we have left, she said finally. We go to find these humans. My queen, General Korak, said, what if the legends are wrong? What if humans do not exist? King Zarathus looked out the window one last time. In the distance, she could see the first hive bioships entering the system. Huge, dark shapes that blotted out the stars. Then we will die knowing we tried everything, she said. The alien queen believed human warriors were legends until she finally met one part 2. First contact 3 weeks after fleeing her dying empire. Queen Zarathus stood on the bridge of her last remaining ship. The Starfire was badly damaged. Scorch marks covered its hull from the running battles with hive scouts. Half her crew was dead. Food supplies were running low. My queen, Navigator Kellen said, his voice tired. We are approaching the coordinates. The Sol system should be just ahead. God, the queen looked at the main screen. Stars filled the darkness, but she saw nothing special. No great fleets, no mighty fortress worlds, just empty space and a small yellow star. Are you certain this is the right place? She asked. Yes, my queen. The radio signals are stronger here. Someone is definitely transmitting from the inner planets. Admiral Vexstar walked over to the queen. Her old friend looked as tired as everyone else. 3 weeks of running from the hive had worn them all down. My queen, our sensors are picking up something strange. There are ships moving in the asteroid belt between the 4th and 5th planets. Hive ships? The queen asked quickly. No, my queen. Something else. The ships are small, made of metal, not biomatter. They are. Fighting. Fighting. The queen moved to the sensor station. On the screen she could see dozens of small contacts moving in complex patterns. Some were definitely shooting at others. Can you tell who was fighting who? She asked. The sensor officer worked at his controls. It is hard to say, my queen. The smaller ships appear to be attacking larger ones. The larger ships look. He paused. They look like hive bioships, my queen. The queen felt her heart stop. The hive is here, in the human system. It appears so, my queen. But the bioships are losing. Losing? The Queen stared at the screen. The Hive never lost. Their bioships could repair themselves, adapt to any weapon, overwhelm any enemy with numbers. How could they be losing too small? Metal ships? My Queen, the communications officer called out. We are receiving a transmission. It is in a language I do not recognize. Put it through the translator, the Queen ordered. A new voice filled the bridge. It was deep, calm, and dun-dung. Somehow confident. Unknown vessel. This is Captain Marcus Chen of the United Earthship Valkyrie. You have entered an active combat zone. Please identify yourself and state your intentions. The Queen looked at Admiral Vexstar Earth. United Earthship. These were humans. Open a channel, the Queen said. She took a deep breath. This is Queen Zarathus of the Valkyrie Empire. We need help. There was a pause. Then the human voice came back. Queen Zarathus, are you being pursued by the bioships in this area? Yes, she said. The Hive has destroyed my empire. Came here hoping to find. We came looking for warriors. Heard stories, I understand, Captain Chen said. What? By your majesty? We'll handle the bioships first, then we can talk properly. The Queen watched her screen in amazement. The human captain spoke like fighting the Hive was a normal thing, like it was just another day at work. My Queen, the sensor officer said excitedly, you need to see this. On the main screen, the Queen saw something impossible. A single human ship, smaller than her own damaged vessel, was attacking a Hive bioship 3 times its size. The human ship moved like a dancer, spinning and diving around the bioship's attacks. Its weapons cut through the Hive armor like it was paper. Are they doing that? Admiral Vexter whispered. The Queen had no answer. She watched as more human ships joined the battle. They worked together perfectly, like they could read each other's minds. When one ship was in trouble, others came to help immediately. When a bioship tried to repair itself, human weapons stopped the healing process. But what shocked the Queen most was how the humans fought. They showed no fear. When bioships launched boarding pods filled with deadly Hive warriors, human ships deliberately got close to be boarded. Then the Queen heard sounds over the radio, human voices shouting, weapons firing, and something that sounded like laughter. My Queen, the communications officer said. Captain Chen is speaking again. Queen Zarathus, we have cleared the immediate area. Please follow our ship to a safe location where we can meet properly. The Queen watched. As a human ship approached, it was sleek and powerful, with weapons that still glowed from recent use. Strange symbols were painted on its hull, and she could see humans moving behind lighted windows. Follow them, she ordered. The human ship led them to a small space station, hidden in an asteroid field. As they docked, the Queen prepared to meet these legendary warriors. She expected to find huge, powerful beings. Warriors 10 feet tall, with armor and massive weapons. Instead, when the airlock opened, she met Captain Marcus Chen. He was ordinary, about her height, with brown skin and dark hair. He wore a simple uniform and carried no visible weapons. He looked like he could be a merchant or a teacher. Not a legendary warrior, but when she looked into his eyes, she saw something that made her step back. There was strength there, and kindness, and something else, a fire that burned steady and bright. Your Majesty, Captain, Chen said, bowing. Slightly. Welcome to Ceres Station. I am sorry to hear about your empire. The Hive has caused much suffering. You know about them? The Queen asked. Oh yes, Chen said. We have been fighting them for several years now. They are a persistent problem. A persistent problem? The Queen stared at him. The Hive had destroyed her 5,000-year-old empire in 3 years. This human called them a persistent problem. Captain Chen, she said carefully, how many ships? Do you have in this system? About 50? Why, 50 ships? The Queen's empire had thousands, and they had lost. Captain, the Hive destroyed over 3,000 of my ships. How do you fight them with only 50? Chen smiled. It was not a cruel smile or a boastful one. It was the smile of someone who knew a secret. Your Majesty, it is not about how many ships you have, it is about how you use them. And more importantly, it is about why you fight. He led her to the station's observation deck. Through the windows she could see human ships patrolling the asteroid field. They moved with purpose and confidence. Your Majesty, Chen said, may I ask why you came looking for us? The Queen thought about her answer. We heard stories. Legends. Tales of human warriors who never lose, who fight impossible battles and win. And what do you think now that you have met us? The Queen looked at Captain Chen again. This ordinary-looking man who commanded ships that destroyed hive bioships like they were toys. I think the legends were wrong, she said. Chen raised an eyebrow. Wrong? Yes, the Queen said. They said you were great warriors, but I think you were something else, something more dangerous. What is that? The Queen watched as a human patrol returned from the asteroid belt. She could see the crews through the windows, laughing and talking like they had just returned from a training exercise, not a battle with the most feared enemy in the galaxy. I think you are people who are not afraid to do what is right, she said. The alien queen believed human warriors were legends until she finally met one Part 3, the human way of war 2 days later. Queen Zarathus stood in the war room of Earth's forward command base. She had expected to find a desperate military trying to survive against the hive. Instead, she found something that shocked her to her core. Admiral Sarah Reeves. The human fleet commander stood before a massive holographic display showing the entire galaxy. Red dots marked hive-controlled systems. Blue dots showed human positions. Green dots represented other species still fighting. Your Majesty, Admiral Reeves said, thank you for coming. Your information about hive tactics in the Outer Rim has been very helpful. The Queen stared at the display. Admiral, you have been tracking the hive across the entire galaxy. For the past 8 years, yes. We first encountered them when they attacked the Centauri colonies. Since then, we have been studying their behavior, their technology, and their weaknesses. Weaknesses? The Queen stepped closer to the display. The hive has weaknesses? Admiral Reeves smiled. She was a tall woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. Everything has weaknesses, Your Majesty. You just have to know how to look for them. The display changed, showing detailed images of hive bioships. But these were not the terrifying monsters the Queen remembered. These images showed every detail of their construction, their weapon systems, their repair mechanisms. The hive ships are organic, the Admiral explained. They heal themselves, yes, but they need specific nutrients to do so. Cut off those nutrients, and they cannot repair damage. They adapt to weapons, yes, but they need time to analyze and counter new threats. Hit them fast with constantly changing tactics, and they cannot keep up. The Queen felt dizzy. You have found ways to defeat them. We have found ways to kill them, Admiral Reeves said simply. There is a difference. Before the Queen could ask what that meant, alarms began sounding throughout the base. Communications officer ran to the Admiral. Ma'am, we have a priority. Transmission from the Kepler system. The hive has taken 3 worlds there. The local species is requesting immediate assistance. Admiral Reeves turned to the Queen. Your Majesty, would you like to see how humans fight? We're about to launch a liberation mission. The Queen nodded, not trusting her voice to speak. 2 hours later, she stood on the bridge of the UES Thunderstrike, Admiral Reeves' flagship. Around them, a fleet of 30 human ships moved through hyperspace toward the Kepler system. Admiral, the Queen said, 30 ships seem few. The hive will have hundreds guarding those worlds. Quality over quantity, Your Majesty, the Admiral replied. Besides, we are not going there to fight the hive fleet. We are going there to destroy it. When they arrived at Kepler, the Queen saw what the Admiral meant. The hive had indeed brought hundreds of bioships. They surrounded the 3 conquered worlds like a living wall of death. Any normal fleet would have retreated immediately. The humans attacked, but they did not attack the way the Queen expected. Instead of charging at the hive fleet, the human ships spread out and began hitting targets all around the system. They struck hive supply ships, destroyed biofactories on asteroid bases, and eliminated the organic sensor networks the Hive used to coordinate their forces. "You are not fighting their main fleet," the Queen observed. "Correct, Admiral Reeves." "Said we are cutting off their food supply, blinding their sensors, and destroying their ability to make new ships. In 30 minutes, that Hive fleet will be hungry, confused, and alone." The Queen watched in fascination as the human plan unfolded. The Hive bioships began moving erratically as their sensor network failed. They started firing at empty space. As human ships used advanced stealth technology to appear and disappear like ghosts, "Now," Admiral Reeves said calmly, "the real attack began." Human ships emerged from stealth right next to Hive bioships, firing weapons the Queen had never seen before. These weapons did not just damage the bioships, they poisoned them, preventing them from healing. But what truly amazed the Queen was what happened next. As Hive ships began to die, human ships moved to the 3 conquered worlds. Instead of celebrating their victory, the humans immediately began rescue operations. "Admiral," the Queen said, "your ships are breaking formation to save civilians. The remaining Hive ships could counterattack." "Let them try," Admiral Reeves said. "Captain Martinez, how many survivors have we found?" A voice came over the communications. "System Admiral, we have rescued 40,000 so far. Locals are in bad shape, but they will live." The Queen felt something strange in her chest. "Admiral, you are risking your ships and your people to save strangers." "Why?" Admiral Reeves looked at her with surprise. "Because they need help, Your Majesty. That is what we do." The battle ended 2 hours later. Every Hive ship in the system was destroyed. The 3 worlds were free. But the humans did not stop there. "Admiral came. Another report. We have tracked the Hive retreat route. They're heading for the Vega Nebula." "Pursue them," Admiral Reeves ordered. "I want every bioship hunted down and destroyed. The Hive cannot be allowed to escape and attack another system." The Queen grabbed the Admiral's arm. "Admiral, your ships are damaged. Your crews are tired. Why not let the Hive retreat?" Admiral Reeves looked at her with eyes like steel. "Your Majesty, if we let even one Hive ship escape, it will find another world full of innocent people. It will consume them and make more ships. In 5 years, instead of 1 bioship, we will face 100. So you hunt them all?" "We hunt them all," the Admiral confirmed, "till the last Hive creature is dead and can never hurt anyone again." The Queen spent the next week with the human fleet as they tracked down every fleeing Hive ship. She watched human crews work 18-hour shifts to pursue the enemy into the deep void between stars. She saw human Marines risk their lives to board damaged bioships and make sure no Hive creatures survived. But most shocking of all, she watched how humans treated the people they rescued. On the medical ship U.S. Mercy, human doctors worked around the clock to heal aliens they had never met before. They gave their own blood for transfusions. They shared their food and medicine. They asked for nothing in return. Dr. Kim, the Queen, asked one of the human doctors, "Why do you care so much about saving these people? They're not your species." Dr. Kim looked up from the alien child she was treating. "Your Majesty, they are people. That is enough." The Queen walked to the observation deck and looked out at the stars. Behind them, 3 worlds were free. Thousands of people were alive because humans had come to help. Ahead of them, human ships continued hunting the last Hive survivors. Captain Chen joined her at the window. "Your Majesty, what are you thinking?" "I am thinking that I finally understand," the Queen said. "The legends about human warriors were not wrong, but they were incomplete." "How so?" The Queen watched a human patrol ship disappear into hyperspace, chasing the final Hive bioship. "The legend said you were great warriors. They said you never lose battles. They said you fight like you have no fear. And they did not say why you fight," the Queen said quietly. "They did not say that you fight not to conquer, but to protect. Not for glory, but for justice. Not because you enjoy war, but because you refuse to let evil win." Captain Chen nodded. "Your Majesty, we have received word from Earth's command. The main Hive fleet, the one that destroyed your empire, has been located." The Queen felt her blood turn cold. "They are moving toward Earth." The Queen stared at him. "Captain, There are millions of hive ships in that fleet. Even with all your skills and weapons, how can you possibly win? Captain Chen smiled the same quiet smile she had seen before. Your Majesty, you are about to learn the most important thing about humans. What is that? We do not just fight to win, he said. We fight to make sure the fight never has to happen again. The alien queen believed human warriors were legends, until she finally met one. Part 4. When legends become reality. Queen Zarathus stood on the bridge of the Use Ragnarok, Admiral Reeves' new flagship, and watched through the viewports as the largest fleet she had ever seen approached Earth. The main hive armada filled space from horizon to horizon. Millions of bioships that had consumed dozens of civilizations. This was the fleet that had destroyed her empire. It was here too. Destroy humanity's home. My God, Admiral Reeves whispered, staring at the sensor readings. There are so many of them. The Queen expected to see fear in the human faces around her. Instead, she saw something else. Determination, anger, and strangest of all, she saw people who looked ready for this fight. Admiral, the communications officer called out, "We are receiving transmissions from across the Sol system." "Put them through," Admiral Reeves ordered. The bridge filled with voices from all over the human system. Space stations, mining colonies, civilian ships, even individual families living on distant asteroids. "This is Luna Base. All defensive weapons are online and ready. Mars colony reporting. Our militia fleet is moving to support positions. Jupiter Mining Consortium here. We've armed our cargo ships and are ready to fight. Sirius Station medical facility standing by to receive wounded." The Queen listened in amazement as thousands of human voices checked in. Not just military voices, but civilians. People who could have evacuated but chose to stay and fight. "Admiral," she said quietly, "your people are not running away." Admiral Reeves looked at her with surprise. "Your Majesty, this is our home. Where would we run to?" Before the Queen could answer, new alarms sounded. The Hive Fleet had begun its attack. The bioships moved forward like a living tide of death. Their organic hulls pulsed with sickly light, and their weapon ports opened like hungry mouths. The front of the fleet was something that made the Queen's blood freeze. A bioship, the size of a small moon, covered in spines and tentacles that writhed in the vacuum of space. "The Hive Queen ship," Admiral Reeves said grimly. "Intelligence said it might be here." "Admiral," Captain Chen's voice came over the radio from his ship nearby. "All fleet units report ready. Civilian evacuations are complete. We are clear to begin Operation Cleansing Fire." "Confirmed, Captain. All units. This is Admiral Reeves. Today we end the Hive threat forever. Make every shot count. Fight for Earth. Fight for humanity. Fight for everyone the Hive has killed." The human fleet moved forward to meet the Hive armada. The Queen watched in fascination as the human ships spread out in complex patterns, each group with a specific mission. "Admiral," she asked, "your fleet is much smaller than theirs. How do you plan to win?" "Your Majesty," Admiral Reeves said, with a cold smile, "we are not here to win. We are here to teach them why they should never have come to our home." The battle began with a move that shocked the Queen. Instead of attacking the main Hive fleet, the humans ignored it completely. Human ships raced past the bioships and struck at targets deeper in the formation: supply ships, command vessels, and the biofactories that created new warriors. The Hive fleet tried to adapt, but the humans were ready for that too, every time. The bioships changed their tactics. The humans changed faster. They used weapons that worked for only minutes before switching to completely different systems. "How are you doing this?" Queen asked as she watched human fighters dance between bioships 10 times their size. 8 years of preparation, Your Majesty," Admiral Reeves explained. "We have studied every Hive attack, cataloged every bioship type, and developed counters for all of them. Today we use everything we have learned." The Queen watched as human ships performed impossible maneuvers, their pilots pushing their machines and themselves beyond all limits. When bioships tried to board human vessels, the Marines inside were ready with weapons designed specifically to kill Hive creatures. But what truly amazed her was when Captain Chen's ship, the Valkyrie, was surrounded by 5 bioships and badly damaged. "Chen is in trouble," Admiral Reeves said. "All units, move to assist." "No," came Chen's voice over the radio.com as ever. "All units continue mission. We can handle this." The Queen watched through the sensors as Chen's damaged ship deliberately moved closer to the bioships instead of retreating. "What is he doing?" she asked. "Something very human," Admiral Reeves said with pride. Chen's ship suddenly exploded. But it was not destroyed. Instead, it had released hundreds of boarding pods directly into the bioships around it. Human Marines launched themselves into the enemy vessels, fighting in the organic corridors where the bioships were most vulnerable. "Boarding action successful," Chen reported minutes later. 5 bioships captured and being sterilized. The Queen stared at the screen. "Your Marines boarded 5 enemy ships at once? Standard tactic, Your Majesty. Hive creatures are very dangerous in space combat, but in hand-to-hand fighting, humans have advantages they cannot match." The battle raged for hours. Slowly, impossibly, the human fleet began to win. Not through superior numbers or better technology, but through something the Queen had never seen before: absolute refusal to give up. When human ships were damaged, they kept fighting. When human pilots were wounded, they stayed at their posts. When Marine units were cut off inside bioships, they fought their way out and immediately boarded more enemy vessels. "Admiral," came a report from the sensor station, "the Hive Queen's ship is moving. It is heading directly for Earth." The Queen looked at the massive bioship on the screen. Even damaged, it was larger than anything in the human fleet. Its weapons could destroy entire cities. "Admiral," she said urgently, "you must stop that ship. If it reaches Earth... "I know," Admiral Reeves said. She opened a communication channel. "Captain Chen, can the Valkyrie intercept the Queen's ship?" "Already?" "On our way, Admiral. We'll need a boarding party for this one." The Queen grabbed Admiral Reeves' arm. "Cannot board that ship. It is filled with thousands of Hive warriors. It is suicide." Admiral Reeves looked at her with eyes like iron. "Your Majesty, that ship contains the Hive Queen, while she lives. The Hive will never stop hunting and killing innocent people. Someone has to end this." "Let me come with you," the Queen said suddenly. "Your Majesty, this creature destroyed my empire. It killed my people. I want to look it in the eye when it dies." Admiral Reeves studied her for a moment, then nodded. "Very well, but you follow our orders in there. No heroics." 20 minutes later, the Queen found herself in a human boarding pod surrounded by Marines in heavy armor. Captain Chen sat across from her, checking his weapons with calm efficiency. "Your Majesty," he said, "are you ready to see how this story ends?" The Queen looked out the pod's small window at the massive bioship they were approaching. Its hull pulsed with alien life, and she could see weapon ports tracking their approach. "Captain," she said, "I have watched humans fight for weeks now. I have seen you do impossible things, but this might be too much even for you." Captain Chen smiled, that quiet smile she had come to recognize. "Your Majesty, let me tell you something about humans. We do not believe in impossible. Only believe in things we have not figured out how to do yet." The boarding pod slammed into the bioship's hull, and cutting tools began burning through the organic armor. "Breaching in 10 seconds, the Marine Sergeant announced. The Queen checked her weapon one final time. She was about to enter the heart of the Hive's power, surrounded by humans who treated this suicide mission like just another day at work. "Your Majesty," Captain Chen said as the pod door prepared to open, "whatever happens in there, remember this: legends are just stories about people who refuse to quit." The door exploded open, and they charged into the nightmare within. The alien Queen believed human warriors were legends until she finally met one. Part 5. The legend lives. Queen Zarathis followed Captain Chen through the organic corridors of the Hive Queen's bioship. The walls around them pulsed with sickly green light, and the floor felt soft and warm under their feet. Everything here was alive, watching them, waiting to kill them. Behind them, the sounds of battle echoed through the ship as human Marines fought Hive warriors in the outer sections. Ahead of them lay the ship's heart, where the Hive Queen waited. "Captain," the queen whispered. How did you know where to find the queen's chamber? Chen checked his scanner without slowing down. We have been inside bioships before, Your Majesty. They all follow the same basic design. The queen will be at the center, surrounded by her strongest warriors. They moved deeper into the ship. The corridors became wider, the walls more elaborate. Strange symbols covered every surface, glowing with alien intelligence. The queen could feel something watching them, studying them, planning their deaths. Contact ahead, whispered Sergeant Martinez, the Marine team leader. Multiple hostiles. Round. The next corner, a group of hive warriors waited. These were not the regular biosoldiers the queen had seen before. These creatures were larger, more intelligent, with armor that seemed to be part of their bodies and weapons that had grown from their arms. Elite guards, Chen said calmly. They only protect the most important targets. The battle was swift and brutal. The hive warriors moved with deadly grace, their bioweapons spitting acid and poison. But the human marines moved faster, worked together like parts of a single machine, covering each other, sharing ammunition, never leaving anyone behind. When it was over, all the hive warriors were dead. The humans had lost 2 marines, and several others were wounded, but they kept moving forward. Sir, Sergeant Martinez said to Chen, we are getting close to the center. My scanner shows something big ahead. They climbed a spiral ramp that seemed to be made of living bone. At the top, they found a massive circular chamber. In the center, on a throne made of crystallized biomatter, sat the Hive Queen. She was beautiful and terrible at the same time, twice as tall as a human, with skin that shifted between colors like oil on water. Her 4 arms ended in claws that could cut through steel, and her eyes held the cold intelligence of a creature that had consumed entire civilizations. Around her throne, dozens of elite warriors stood guard. But the queen noticed something else: biopods lining the walls, each one containing captured humans from the battle outside. Welcome, the Hive Queen said, her voice like honey mixed with poison. I have been expecting you, little mammals. Your species has caused me much inconvenience. Captain Chen stepped forward, his weapon ready, but not raised. Release the prisoners, he said simply. Withdraw your forces from this system. Return to wherever you came from, and never threaten. Anyone again? The Hive Queen laughed, a sound like breaking glass. You dare make demands of me? I have consumed 1,000 worlds. I have destroyed empires that ruled for millions of years. What makes you think your pathetic species can threaten me? Because, Chen said quietly, we are here. The Queen of the Valkyrie watched as the human captain faced the most dangerous creature in the galaxy. She expected him to attack immediately, to try to overwhelm the Hive Queen with superior numbers or weapons. Instead, Chen did something that shocked everyone in the room. He holstered his weapon. Your Majesty, he said, speaking to the Hive Queen with the same respect he had shown Queen Zarathus, you have a choice. You can end this here. Withdraw your forces and find somewhere else to live. Or you can continue this war and discover why every species in the galaxy tells stories about human warriors. The Hive Queen rose from her throne, her 4 arms spreading wide. You think I fear your legends, little human? I am death itself. I am the end of worlds. No, Chen said sadly. You were just another bully who never learned when to stop. The Hive Queen attacked without warning, moving faster than the Queen's eyes could follow. Her claws reached for Chen's throat, ready to end the conversation permanently. Chen was ready for her. He moved like water, flowing around her attack and striking back with precise, calculated blows. But he was not alone. The human marines moved with him, each one knowing exactly where to be and when to be there. Queen Zarathus found herself fighting alongside them, her own weapon cutting down hive warriors as they tried to swarm the humans. For the first time in her life, she felt what it was like to fight beside humans instead of just watching them. It was like being part of a living weapon. Every human knew what the others were doing. When one was in danger, others appeared too. Help. When someone needed ammunition, it was there before they asked. When the queen herself was nearly overwhelmed by 3 warriors, human marines materialized beside her like guardian angels. The battle raged around the throne room. Bioweapons fired acid and poison. Human weapons answered with precision and fury. The Hive Queen fought like a creature that had never known defeat, but Captain Chen fought like a human who refused to accept failure. Finally, impossibly, the Hive Queen fell. Chen's weapon found the weak spot in her bioarmor, and she collapsed to the floor of her own throne room. Around them, the surviving Hive warriors stopped fighting and stared in shock. "It is over," Chen said, breathing hard but still standing. "Your queen is dead. Your fleet is destroyed. Surrender now, and we will find you a world where you can live without hurting others." The Hive warriors looked at each other, then at their dead queen, then at the humans who had done the impossible. Slowly, one by one, they laid down their weapons. "How?" the dying Hive Queen whispered to Chen. "How? Did you defeat me?" "I was perfect. I was unstoppable." Chen knelt beside her, his face showing compassion even for his greatest enemy. "Your Majesty, you made the same mistake everyone makes about humans. You thought our strength came from our weapons or our tactics. What is your strength then?" Chen looked around the throne room at his marines, at Queen Zarathus, at the freed human prisoners who were being helped by their rescuers. "Our strength is that we never fight alone, and we never fight for ourselves." 3 months later, Queen Zarathus stood before the Galactic Council on the neutral world of Nexus Prime. Representatives from hundreds of species filled the Great Assembly Hall, all of them waiting to hear her report about the mysterious humans. "Honored delegates," she began, "I went to find the legendary human warriors. I thought I would find great fighters who could help us defeat the Hive. I was wrong." Murmurs filled the hall. Several delegates leaned forward with interest. "The humans are not just warriors," the Queen continued. "They are something far more dangerous to those who would hurt the innocent. They are protectors. They fight not for conquest or glory, but because someone needs their help." She gestured to the display screen behind her, which showed images of humans working on worlds freed from the Hive, building hospitals, teaching children, sharing food and medicine. "The legends about human warriors were true," she said, "but they were incomplete. They told us that humans never lose battles. They did not tell us that humans fight to make sure those battles never need to be fought again." The Queen paused, remembering Captain Chen and his quiet smile. "I recommend that this council formally invite humanity to join our alliance, not as conquerors or subjects, but as what they have chosen to become, the guardians of those who cannot guard themselves." As she finished speaking, the hall erupted in discussion. Some delegates argued, others agreed, but all of them understood that the galaxy had changed. The human legends were real, but the reality was better than any legend could ever be, and in a distant system called Sol. Captain Marcus Chen received another distress signal from an unknown species under attack by raiders. He looked at his crew, smiled that quiet smile, and gave the order that had become humanity's promise to the galaxy: set course to intercept. Time to go to work.